Well, good morning. Here it is. It's Wednesday, halfway point of the week, and of course, this is the second day of March. And anyway, had a beautiful day yesterday. The weather was so nice, so much better than what we had last week, right? Anyway, I hope that you're doing well. Hope that you're rested this morning and ready to tackle another day. I always hope and pray every day that for the opportunities that we have to serve God. But anyway, this morning I want to bring a devotion entitled "Never Part of God's Plan." Did you realize that sickness was never part of God's original plan? Listen, we weren't supposed to get sick, or even to age, to get older, so to speak. In fact, we weren't supposed to die. But you see, it all goes back to our first parents, Adam and Eve, in the Garden of Eden. You see, if Adam and Eve, if they hadn't eaten of the forbidden fruit, we wouldn't get sick or age. That wasn't what God intended. But you see, because they did, we age and we have illnesses, and then ultimately we die. Romans chapter 5 verse 12. It says, "Therefore, just as through one man's sin entered the world, and death through sin, and thus death spread to all men because all sinned." Even so, why does God allow sickness? That's a great question. And I know there's many people that have asked that, through the years. Well, here's the short answer. If we tried to go the long answer, it'd be way too long of a devotional this morning. Sometimes God allows sickness in our lives to bring us to Him. The psalmist said the following in Psalm 119, verse 67. "Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I keep your word." I've heard many stories of people who felt that they had no need for God, but then they became ill, and so they asked for spiritual help, and they found it. And so sometimes God he allows that sickness to get our attention. And then again, sometimes God allows sickness in the lives of believers to keep us humble. Sometimes we need that, as he did with the Apostle Paul. Writing about the thorn in the flesh, which, we've talked about this, I think, this week already. Paul, he said in 2 Corinthians 12, 8 and 9, he said, 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness." God also may allow sickness so that, he can be glorified, through our lives as we honor Him. I think two great examples of this are, number one, Joni Eareckson Tada, who is she's a quadriplegic. I don't know if I said that right, but anyway, she's paralyzed and has been, ever since a diving accident. And then there's Nick Vujicic, I guess the way you pronounce that, I'm not sure, who was born without arms and legs. They both turned their disabilities into an ability. If you've never heard them speak, go Google both of them, and you'll find a great testimonies on both their parts. So you see, even when we don't understand why God allows sickness, there are reasons that He does, and He can be glorified through it. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to think about and realize is, if we're going through sickness, or if we have a loved one that goes through sickness, God has a will and a purpose for everything, and we just need to bow to that and be open to what God wants to speak into our hearts through those times. And so, anyway, I hope that encourages you this morning. I hope that you realize that God only has His best for us, through anything that we go through, and He walks through it with us. And so, anyway, remember, Angie and I, we love you guys, and certainly we're praying for you. And Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow morning. God bless you.